All right. Okay, so Son of God appears in uh, in Acts 9:20, and that is the only place that the term Son of God appears. But if we go to the whole New Testament, we will see that it appears many times. And you can look at all these places where the Son of God appears. And if we want to search our library, other books, and we want to find Son of God, we'll look in all of our resources, and there are 352 results. Oh, that's fact book entries. There are, I don't know, there would be hundreds of where it speaks about Jesus as the Son of God. Let's say we want to look up Beelzebub. Or maybe Beelzebul. That's the way it appears sometimes. And every time that we have a place where it appears, it is here, and you can see there are hundreds of places. Bible dictionaries, just regular books, and the kinds of searches that you can do is just amazing. So I would really recommend, if you can, to get Logos Bible software. The only problem is it's not free, and some of the books are quite expensive. But the basic software is free, and then you can add what you want to as you go along. I started it in the 1990s, and for probably Christmas or my birthday, my wife got me what was called then the Greek Core Collection. And then she got me the Hebrew Core Collection. And then I've added things over the years. One thing that's really neat here, let's see. I don't know if I can see it though, because it's hidden under this here. It was hidden under the Zoom thing. They have different kinds of what they call guides. Passage guide, theology guide, exegetical guide. And if we look up the passage guide and we put in a passage, well, we have Mark 10:2 there, so let's put that in. It will come up with a lot of different information about that verse. And it will find it in commentaries that are on here. So this is a list of commentaries on Mark that I have in the computer, and you can just click on it. And over here in the right column, it will come up with the commentary on that verse. And you can do that with all the commentaries. It really makes it handy rather than having this big stack of books that you have to leaf through and find the place. It's instantly there. And if you go to the exegetical commentary or exegetical guide, and we'll click on, again, Mark 10:2. It will give you a lot of the information about the Greek text. So we have textual commentaries, textual apparatuses, a word-by-word study of the words there in that verse. Now, this is in the Greek, and it really is quite amazing. So I thought I would just introduce you to that. That's Logos, and you can go on to logos.com, and I believe that you can download the basic software free of charge, and you probably get a few books with it. I'm not sure. But then every month they give out a free book, and then they offer other books very cheap along with it. And so it really comes in handy. It's really a great tool. Do you have any questions about this? Yes, Moon?
It's me, Doctor.
Uh-huh.
This program is the fee of that is annually or just one time. Just I mean we just pay for one time, or we need to pay annually.
You can do the one time, and for many, many years, I didn't have to pay any more. All I'd pay for was the books. But
Yes.
then they started offering something that you subscribe to every year, which gave you more options. So I did that, but you don't have to. Okay, you don't have to have a yearly fee. Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. There is also a program called eSword, which is free. And you can get it. What you can get free is mostly what we call public domain items. They're normally old. They're no longer copyrighted. But you can use them. In their day, they were really, really great. But you're not going to get the latest works on that. Okay. All right.
Did the Burmese guy show up?
Yeah. Would it be okay if we do a screenshot of our class here? Is there anybody who would rather not have their picture in it because of security or any other reason? Okay. Let me do a screenshot here. So okay, everybody smile. All right. All right. Good. Okay, now I'm going to go back and do the screen share that I was on before.
It is me, Doctor.
Yes.
Yes, because I see that this section you taught last week is was faster than section 2. So something I missed. I mean I haven't studied yet. So can I enter class on tomorrow morning to listen to you for the missed lesson?
In the other section?
Yes. I mean,
yes.
because
You can do it once, but I wouldn't want anybody to be in, both sections.
no, I mean, Doctor, I mean, because this section you taught faster than the session 2 last week.
Right.
So some point I missed it. So I would like to listen to it again.
Okay, you can.
Yeah.
And you can
just
also
one time.
you can also get the recordings.
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. I do you all have the PowerPoint in front of you? Do you all have your own PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes.
last time we were talking about the Hasmonean dynasty and the Maccabees. And I'm skipping down to this graphic here that maybe will help you get a better picture of what we're talking about. Let me do this. Okay. Oh, okay. Just come over here. Oh, okay. Okay. Dickie's going to take a picture of me teaching you. So I told her to tell me so I can sit up straight when I do this. We began with Judas Maccabeus, or excuse me, with Mattathias at the beginning. And this will give you an overview of where we're going. And let me just go in here and number these. I'll do my best to make this work. Mattathias is number 1, way up at the top there. And so let me just put a 1 there. And then we go to Judas Maccabeus. My writing is not too good on this, but that is a 2. He is followed by Jonathan. So that's 3 over there, who is followed by his brother Simon. That is 4. He then is followed in being the leader of the Jews. Number 5 is John Hyrcanus. Number 6 is his son, Aristobulus. He is followed by Alexander Jannaeus, here number 7. And he is followed by his wife, Alexandra Salome. Then she is followed by her son, Hyrcanus II, who is followed by Aristobulus II, number 10, and who is followed by Antigonus Mattathias, number 11. So there are 11 rulers, and we began looking briefly at each one last time. But I thought it would be good just to give you this overview of where we are going here with the different rulers. So you'll notice in the lower right-hand corner, we have Herod. Herod does not belong to this family, but he married into the family through Mariamne the first there, right to his left, his wife. Okay, do you have questions or comments about this? I hope that that will be helpful. All right. So we'll go back up. Oh, I see that my numbers are still there, so I'm going to have to erase them. Maybe I can erase all of them. Yeah. Okay. We're getting feedback. Okay. Okay. We'll go back and start back up here. So with Simon, the leader of the Jews, the Hasmonean dynasty began. For almost 80 years, the Jews enjoyed political independence. The only time they would experience that from the destruction of Jerusalem in 586 BC to the middle of the 20th century AD. So that 80 years there was a unique time in the life of the Jews. From the time of the restoration of the temple, there arose a religious division among the Jews. Those who supported the priests eventually became the Sadducees. Those who opposed the ruler priests were the Hasidians, who eventually became known as the Pharisees. John Hyrcanus, the son of Simon, succeeded him and fought off Ptolemy, and for a while was subjected by Syria. So Ptolemy was in Egypt, Syria in the north. He was the first Hasmonean ruler that was not from the original Maccabean family. So on that chart, we had Mattathias at the top, and then his 5 sons. Now we go to another level down, not the original family, but to their sons. The term Hasmonean is the name of the dynasty that was in power from John Hyrcanus in 135 BC to Antigonus in 37 BC. It comes from the name of the great-grandfather of Mattathias by the name of Hasmonean. Okay, Hyrcanus captured and forced Judaism upon Idumea. Idumea was the country right south of Judea. Okay, so he conquered it, forced Judaism on it, but little did he know that 1 century later, an Idumean would replace the last Hasmonean on the throne. He also added Samaria and part of Galilee to the kingdom. Hyrcanus sided with the Sadducees and was opposed by the Pharisees. In terms of character, one person has called him an unprincipled vandal. One thing that we're going to see about these leaders is that they were not pious men who wanted simply to please God and keep the law, but they were, some of them, pretty mean rascals. John Hyrcanus was succeeded by his son Aristobulus I, who ruled for only 1 year. He was the first Hasmonean ruler to take the title king, and he remained as high priest. Now, Aristobulus was paranoid. Do you know what I mean by paranoid? Always afraid that somebody was out to get him, looking over his shoulder, who's out to get me? One thing that we're going to see is that a lot of rulers are paranoid, not only the Jews, but Herod, the Roman emperors. So many of them are very afraid that somebody is trying to displace them. Aristobulus had his brother Antigonus killed, and he imprisoned his mother, whom he also killed, and he imprisoned 3 of his other brothers. At his death, his wife Salome, at his death, his wife Salome freed his brothers that he had imprisoned, and she married his oldest brother, Alexander Jannaeus, who then succeeded Aristobulus. Under Alexander's leadership, the kingdom was greatly enlarged to the point that it was as great as the kingdom under David and Solomon. So here is a map of Alexander's domain here, all the way from northern Galilee down through Idumea in the south. He exhausted the nation's wealth to establish his personal power and carry out his military conquests. His kingdom was torn. Yes.
Because your voice is broken, so I couldn't hear it clearly.
Okay, my voice is breaking up, is it?
Yes, doctor.
All right. Usually when I put on my headphones and use the mic, it's okay. Is it still broken up?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, doctor. Yeah.
Okay, let me see what I can do then. Just a minute. All right. Alexander's rulership was torn by strife. And he was opposed by many of the Jews. He was at odds with the Pharisees. And at one point, he had 800 Pharisees crucified outside Jerusalem. He arranged a banquet in front of the crosses and had the wives and children killed in front of those who were being crucified. Not a nice guy. He later changed his policy, and through his wife, Salome, was able to make peace with the Pharisees. At Jannaeus' death in 76 BC, his wife Salome Alexandra succeeded him, and she had a long and prosperous reign. She was a wise and good and prudent ruler. Since she could not serve as high priest, she had her son, Hyrcanus II, serve as high priest. When Salome Alexandra became ill and it was apparent that she was approaching death, her son Aristobulus II took the initiative and threatened civil war if her favorite son Hyrcanus II succeeded her. Hyrcanus was not very ambitious or energetic, and after some fighting, conceded to Aristobulus II and became king. Aristobulus II became king. You know, as you read Josephus about Hyrcanus II, it seemed like he wasn't very interested in doing very much for the nation. He was more interested in being very passive, spending his time alone, that kind of thing. So Aristobulus II became king. But another person who was to have great influence himself and also through his posterity enters the scene here. He was an Idumean by the name of Antipater. He had great ambitions, and he incited Hyrcanus II to try to take the throne away from Aristobulus II. To settle the civil strife, the Romans intervened in 63 BC and ended up backing Hyrcanus II. At this time, the Roman general Pompey did something that left an indelible mark on the Jewish people, something that no Gentile ruler had ever done before. He entered not only the temple, but the Holy of Holies. His trespass was never forgotten. When the Romans stepped in, Jewish independence came to an end. From then on, Palestine was under the dominion of Rome. So at this point, at 63 BC, the Jews lose their independence and they come under the Romans. In 48 BC, Julius Caesar defeated Pompey. Julius Caesar appointed Antipater as prefect of Judea. Now remember, Antipater is the man from Idumea down to the south. He reconfirmed Hyrcanus II as high priest and gave him the title Ethnarch of the Jews. Ethnarch means ruler of the people. Behind the scenes, Antipater was really the power behind the throne. Antipater appointed his son Phasael as the governor of Jerusalem and his son Herod as governor of Galilee. In 43 BC, Antipater was assassinated, and his sons Herod and Phasael took his place of control. In 40 BC, the Parthian armies moved in from the east and captured Jerusalem, killing Phasael and Hyrcanus. The Parthians put Antigonus II, the nephew of Hyrcanus, in power. The rulers of the Jews, and here is the one that we showed earlier. But in 37 BC, Herod, backed by Roman troops, recaptured Jerusalem, and Antigonus was executed. With the death of Antigonus, the Hasmonean dynasty, Hananiel as high priest, he was the first Hasmonean or first non-Hasmonean high priest since Simon became high priest just after the Maccabean revolt. Herod was not a descendant of the Maccabees. He was not a Hasmonean. But even though he wasn't, he married into the Hasmonean line by marrying. So Herod married into the Hasmonean family. Now, at this point in time, Rome's base was in Syria. It was under the control of Rome. Their headquarters was in Syria, but they ruled Palestine through Herod. So Herod was their puppet there in Palestine. Herod managed to keep on good terms with the Roman leaders during this time as they succeeded each other by casting his support with the winners. Herod was a Hellenizer. He built great buildings, including palaces for himself, gymnasiums, baths, marketplaces, all the trappings of Greek culture. But his greatest project was the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. In 20 BC, he began dismantling and replacing parts of the existing temple. And since only priests could go into the holy place, he had hundreds of priests serve as construction workers. But Herod's reign was marred by suspicion and fear. Again, that word paranoia. He was afraid that people were trying to kill him or get him out of power. He put to death his wife, Mariamne I, his mother, Alexandra, and her two sons, Alexander and Aristobulus, as well as other relatives.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I think your slide stopped. Oh, it's not moving.
The slide stopped?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do the rest of you have the slides. It should be on the one that says Herod managed to keep on good terms.
Yes, now it's okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I don't have a slide for all the content that I'm giving right now. So Herod was very uneasy. And this explains Matthew 2, 16 to 18, where it tells us that he had all the young boys of Bethlehem killed who were 2 years old and younger. The Magi came seeking the one who was born King of the Jews. What was Herod's title? King of the Jews. And so he was very much afraid that someone was going to come along and displace him. Do you still have the PowerPoint there? Because it disappeared off of my other computer. Do you have the PowerPoint? I'm trying to stop the share here and it looks like it's frozen up. It's not responding. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, wave. Okay. Okay.